Hey guys, welcome to Series World. Today I'm going to explain a romantic drama series called Playing with Fire from 2019. Turn on subtitles and spoilers ahead. The ninth episode opens with Fabrizio being chased by Gildardo and Eliseo. Fabrizio's car rolls over the hill while taking a turn. It crashes down and Gildardo and Eliseo see this from up. Meanwhile, Andrea and Mari Carmen are headed to Fabrizio's house. Back to Eliseo and Gildardo. Gildardo goes to see whether Fabrizio is alive after the crash or not. Back to Andrea, they've now reached Fabrizio's house. She sees that there are signs of a break-in. After entering the house, Andrea sees that all of Fabrizio's clothes are gone, but Fabrizio's shoes are still in the closet. Mari Carmen tells Andrea that maybe he was in a hurry, that's why he left the shoes. Andrea still can't believe this, but Mari Carmen insists that he left. Back to Gildardo and Eliseo. They come down and see that Fabrizio's body is not moving and is in really bad shape. Later, Fabrizio is seen moving his fingers a little bit. To remove every evidence, Gildardo lit the car on fire with Fabrizio inside. The scene cuts to Martina, who's taking her pills in front of the mirror. Meanwhile, Gildardo goes to meet with Jorge in his office. He informs Jorge that the job is done and they've also covered the hole. Jorge is satisfied but tells him to take a shower to remove the smell of gasoline. The scene changes to Andrea. She goes to the airport with Mari Carmen. Andrea goes to the checkup area, shows a picture of Fabrizio, and asks the person whether the man in the news article and the picture is the same. But the security informs her that they can't share the personal information of customers. Andrea and Mari Carmen then leave the airport. Meanwhile, a man comes across the burned car. Back to Gildardo, he's on the phone with someone. Jorge comes up to him and asks who he is talking to. Gildardo then informs him that he lied, and they didn't bury Fabrizio's corpse because his jeep rolled off the hillside. Jorge is frustrated hearing this because now the police will get a lot of evidence. Gildardo gets worried because if the police search the car, it'll lead them to him, as it was his jeep. Jorge gets annoyed at Gildardo and tells him that they need to visit the place now to make sure of everything. Meanwhile, Mari Carmen calls Poncho and tells him that Fabrizio is a traitor and he left Andrea without saying anything. She also informs Poncho about the article in the newspaper. But Poncho doesn't believe that Fabrizio can do something like this. He tells her that the previous day Fabrizio told him some weird things. Poncho suspects that something happened to him, but he forbids her to tell anything to Andrea until they are sure. After cutting the call with Mari Carmen, Poncho starts heading to the place where Fabrizio told him Jorge took Fabrizio to visit his ranch. Meanwhile, police are inspecting the car. There are no clues left for them except the serial number of the car. So they take note of the serial number to find out who the car belongs to. Jorge and Gildardo have also arrived at the place. Jorge is satisfied that there's no evidence left for the police. Jorge goes up to the officers and informs them that he's the owner of this land, so he came to see what happened for himself. Jorge asks them whether they've identified the body. The commander replies that they're working on it. Jorge then calls for Gildardo and tells the commander that the car belonged to Gildardo. Gildardo tells him that he let a friend of his borrow the car. The friend's name is Tiago, and he had an issue with drinking, suggesting it was a case of drunk driving. Eliseo is now seen arriving at the place. He tells Jorge that he was with Tiago the night before. Tiago was having drinks with him. Gildardo and Eliseo then pretend to fight about him drinking with Tiago in front of the officer. Jorge stops them and tells the commander that it was a case of a drunk driving accident. Even though the commander is skeptical, he agrees that the answer could be as simple as this. Jorge asks the commander for a favor. He tells him that the people involved in the accident are all his employees, and he does business in this town. So he requests the commander to keep this incident under the rug. The commander assures him that he'll do what he can, but he will need the statement of the last person who was with the deceased. Jorge and Gildardo then leave the place after providing the necessary information to the commander. Jorge is satisfied that the process went smoothly. He tells Gildardo to pay Eliseo twice more than promised so that he keeps his mouth shut. The scene cuts to Camila, who has gone to the jewelry store to sell her jewelry. But the amount the owner is willing to pay is a lot less than she expected. She leaves the shop. The whole incident gets caught on the CCTV camera in the shop. Back to Poncho. He has now reached the place of the accident. He goes to the police officers and introduces himself. He then asks what happened here and who died in the accident. They tell him that it was someone named Tiago who caused the accident because of drunk driving. Poncho starts sobbing, hearing this, and tells them that Tiago was his friend. He then goes back to his car and continues sobbing. Meanwhile, Jorge, Gildardo, and Eliseo are celebrating their success in a nightclub. Jorge leaves after a few drinks, and Gildardo and Eliseo stay there to enjoy some drinks and women's company. The scene changes to Martina, who gets a call from Camila. Camila asks her to come over as she needs to discuss something urgent with her. Martina asks her what the matter is, but Camila tells her that it can't be discussed over the phone. Meanwhile, Poncho has also gone to the nightclub. He orders a beer when he hears Gildardo and Eliseo toasting to Tiago's memory. Everyone else also toasts with them. While they're doing this, Poncho tells loudly that the body does not belong to Tiago. Gildardo and Eliseo become very upset at Poncho for ruining this. Gildardo comes up to him and sits beside him. He asks Poncho why he thinks so. Poncho replies that Gildardo knows the answer better than him. Poncho then tells Gildardo that it can't be Tiago because he didn't know how to drive. Hearing this, both of them get very tense. Gildardo tells Poncho that he'll call the police and inform them. Until then, he tells Poncho to stay with Eliseo. Gildardo then tells Eliseo to look after Poncho and goes to make a call to Jorge. Jorge gets angry after hearing what Gildardo says. He tells Gildardo to deal with the problem and cuts the call. Jorge then calls Martina, who's on her way to Camila. Martina doesn't pick up Jorge's call and keeps on driving. Her eyes are hazy and she can't focus. That's when she sees Fabrizio beside the road with a bike. Fabrizio comes up to the car and Martina realizes that she mistook another man for Fabrizio. Embarrassed, she drives off without saying anything. Back to Poncho, he's asking Eliseo why Gildardo is taking so long, and Eliseo assures him that Gildardo knows better how to deal with the police. That's when a girl spills drinks on Poncho because of Poncho's carelessness. Poncho tells Eliseo that he'll go to the restroom to clean up. Meanwhile, Martina has reached Camila's house. Camila greets her and takes her inside. She tells Martina that she needs to discuss a sensitive topic with her. Martina tells her that she needs to share a few things with her too. Camila tells Martina that now is the perfect time because Peter is away at work. She brings her inside and sits down. Camila tells her that the matter is regarding her lover. She needs $500,000 to keep her secret safe. Martina asks her whether her lover is blackmailing her, and Camila replies that he isn't because he fled to Mexico. Martina tells her that her account is frozen, but to Camila, it's a life or death situation. Martina then asks her who her lover is. Camila finally reveals to her that it's Fabrizio. Martina loses consciousness after hearing his name. Meanwhile, Poncho manages to run away from the nightclub. Gildardo starts screaming at Eliseo for letting him go. Back to Martina, Camila has called Andrea and Martina's father to take care of her. Andrea goes to Martina to check up on her, and she starts screaming, asking them to leave her alone. Martina's doctor also arrives at Camila's place. He tells them that this is the first time he has seen her so stressed. Martina finally tells Andrea that Fabrizio was both Camila and Martina's lover. The scene changes to Poncho, who's driving in his car going somewhere. Back to Andrea. She's standing in front of the pool. She imagines she fell in the pool and Fabrizio is there with her. He promises that he will never leave her. But Andrea comes back to reality when Peter asks her what she is doing in front of the pool. She informs him that Martina is here and she is sick. So Andrea and her grandfather have come to take care of her. Peter understands and comforts her. He then goes inside the house. Inside, Camila is telling Andrea's grandfather what happened between Fabrizio and her. Without them knowing, Peter is listening to them while standing in a corner. The episode ends with him standing in front of them with a blank expression. To watch more explanations of these kinds of series, click on the videos on your screen. And don't forget to let me know how you feel about today's video in the comments down below. And at last, thanks for watching.